LPT How I Cured My Crippling Anxiety in 4 months. My anxiety went on for years without me realizing what it actually was. And after a few years of treating my body very poorly with bad diet, minor alcoholism and drugs, my world came crashing down. Literally, I got a bad case of derealization. Basically, my whole family is on SSRIs and anti-anxiety meds. But I refused to take any meds before I had tried to give it my all on fixing it naturally. And it worked. Fixing my anxiety became my full-time job, and I'm completely cured. I used to not be able to get out of the house. Now I'm able to travel all over the world. I'm not saying this will work for everyone, but a lot of us don't respond well to medication and therapy, and this worked for me. Here's the step-by-step break the glass emergency toolkit habit stack I used. 1. Accepting my anxiety. Read Hope and Help for Your Nerves by Dr. Claire Weekes. 2. Exposure therapy. Expose yourself to your worst fear regularly. For me, this meant taking a crowded bus every single day, and then one day flying alone. Terrifying, but a major key in my journey. 3. Doing cold therapy and breath work. A lot of you have heard of Wim Hof. In my experience, it works. I feel super zen after a cold shower and some breath work exercises. 4. Exercising almost every single day. A lot of anxiety is excess adrenaline. Burn it off by getting your heart rate up. 5. Diet. Stop eating food that makes you feel like shit. Look up nutritional strategies for easing anxiety. 6. Organize your thoughts. Have a system for storing all your thoughts and to-dos. Look up Zen to Done by Leo Babauta. 7. Journaling. Write a stream of consciousness of your negative thoughts every night before going to bed. Doing this makes it feel like the paper takes the burden off your shoulders. 8. Skipping on coffee for a while. I stopped drinking coffee for 6 months and replaced it with tea. Coffee can create a lot of inflammation and adrenaline in your body, which is great for being productive but not for your anxiety and sleep. 9. Sleep well. Get sunlight in your eyes as soon as you wake up or light therapy. Calm down 1-2 hours before bed and go to bed in a dark, chill room without any screens. If you struggle with sleep anxiety like I did, read The Sleep Book by Dr. Guy Meadows. That's it. A lot of people have unintentionally self-inflicted anxiety caused by a poor lifestyle. And this is what turned my life around from saying, when I die, I will finally be able to rest, to my GF, and now loving every single day and being super grateful for everything. Trust me, don't kick it unless you've tried it for at least 4 months. I love your TOs and congrats on having that under control. It takes a lot to get there, and what works for some won't work for all, but your tips are great. I wanted to note for anyone reading this, like depression, we don't cure anxiety. We manage the symptoms and carve out a good life. It sounds bleak, but never say you're cured because it will make you feel surprised or like a failure when it returns. It's best to say it's a little worse today or I'm managing it well. Good luck, everyone. Were you clinically diagnosed with an anxiety condition or did you just find yourself feeling very anxious? 100 milligrams of Zoloft daily quite literally saved my life after struggling with crippling gut issues since young adulthood. I agree with the sentiment here from a lot of people that demonizing meds as a life pro tip is a bit short-sighted. People often abuse substances and make poor health decisions as a knock-on effect from suffering with anxiety or depression. Coffee can create a lot of inflammation and adrenaline in your body, which is great for being productive but not for your anxiety and sleep. This is incorrect. As someone who's a nutrition scientist, I have to correct this. Coffee has shown an anti-inflammatory effect on the body. The downside is that caffeine can increase heart rate. The inflammation you're talking about is a very small minority group in some smaller studies. Can't label something as such when it doesn't apply to the majority. This advice is helpful, but there is no one size fits all. I have had anxiety my entire life and I have tried every trick and medication in and out of the book. I have finally found relief using medical ketamine. Wim Hof is a grifter and multiple people have died after following his methods. Wim Hof is full of shit and his techniques have killer people. Stop listening to that asshole. Do you work with an actual therapist? I don't want this to turn into a get disciplined circle jerk. It seems awfully close. It's good to be able to do a lot of the stuff you did. But also reading books and doing cold therapy is not a friggin' cure-all. I am very happy you were able to overcome your anxiety. One tiny detail I would like to throw out there is that it is really underselling the magnitude of effort required for your transformation. Exposure therapy is often dramatic and intense. A complete change of diet is very difficult to do. Complete removal of caffeine is difficult AF. I'm glad you were ready for change. Genuinely, I couldn't be more happy for you. But don't undersell yourself, mate. Embrace the success. And I'm completely cured. Yeah, that's now how an actual anxiety disorder works. You cannot cure it, parts of it are beyond your control. You're doing a disservice to people with diagnosed anxiety disorders by claiming it's actually curable when nothing you described fixes the actual disorder in one's brain that causes chronic anxiety. You've provided a handful of coping strategies. That's great and many are helpful. I employ these as well to great success. But saying you cured your anxiety with them is disingenuous. Wow, thanks, cured material right there. Yep. Those are activities that generally help with anxiety. It's difficult to do most of this stuff when you're also clinically depressed. Easy for people to say go for a run or write in a journal, but not quite as easy to actually make yourself do it when you work a full-time job and just barely have enough gas in the tank to do regular household chores afterwards. I have a tough time doing things I enjoy, let alone shit I don't really feel inclined to pursue. Exposure therapy. Expose yourself to your worst fear. What if my worst fear is my home burning down while I'm away and my cat's being trapped there? Legit stops me from going out sometimes. Thanks, I'm cured. Good advice there. Sometimes it can be hard to think where to start, so having it listed and an actual plan helps a lot. What a clown post. This sub is a joke. 2. Exposure therapy. Expose yourself to your worst fear regularly. For me, this meant taking a crowded bus every single day. And then one day flying alone, terrifying but a major key in my journey. Those with virtual reality headset maybe can try these. VR chat. Rec room. Social anxiety. Anxiety in crowds. Summer lesson. Anxiety with female. Flight simulator. Ace Combat 7. Richie Plank. Height anxiety. Ocean descent in VR world. Small room anxiety. Submersion anxiety. Real VR fishing. Open space anxiety. Water anxiety. There are tons more. Feel free to add. 2. Exposure therapy. How nice for people whose anxiety isn't rooted in something that could actually ruin their life, as they know it and exists because it already almost did once. Exposure therapy. I lay out all of my bills out in front of me and my anxiety got worse. Tired